What are your worst college roommate horror stories? NSFW. I'd see him on campus wearing my clothes. Twist, OP is female. Had a roommate freshman year who took a picture of my student ID so he could buy pizza when I wasn't on campus. Checked my transaction list one day and the kid charged $90 worth of pizza over about a month period. Went to the campus police and they were able to tie it back to him. He got reassigned to another dorm room about 2 weeks later. When he moved out of our, he took a bunch of my crap with him. Clothes, duffel bags, 5-pound bag of protein, and the remote to TV. Don't know if he thought I wouldn't notice or just didn't give a frick. I go back to the police and they make him come into the station. He denied the whole thing, but the idiot still had the remote in his pocket. Ended up getting all my money and crap back, but it was a pain in the ass. My college roommate was an extremely quiet athlete who would go weeks without speaking to me. When she asked me one day if she could order some protein bars, I was confused by the question. Why would my weird quiet roommate need to ask me this? She failed to mention the quantity of protein bars she wanted. She ordered about 50 jumbo cases of protein bars and a similar amount of protein powder online one day. The boxes filled up the entire free floor area of our room for the rest of the year. I had a little pathway cleared so I could walk to my bed. I had a roommate who thought it was funny to change my alarm clock setting from AM to PM at night. Then she'd gaslight me and tell me I must have set it wrong. Every time I would reset it and it would be fine the rest of the week, and come Monday it would be switched again. I finally caught her when I woke up one night while she was changing it. Ever since that year, I only use 24-hour time. My roommate said he didn't need to bathe because the chlorine at swim practice cleaned him. He would also play WoW real loud. I could hear every spell. I had a roommate my first year in college who wanted to be my best friend. Before we met other people it was great and all, but because we had nothing in common, we grew apart. She started getting really passive aggressive and not talking to me when I came in the room. One night she woke me up at 3 AM and said we need to talk. She proceeded to explain how she signed up to have a best friend, not someone who just shared a room with her. She got angry when I didn't invite her to study with me in the library because I had my own work to do. And even when I wanted to go on a date with my boyfriend alone, she told me either I start doing everything with her or I move the frick out. I chose the latter. We need to talk. The scariest sentence known to mankind. University of Arizona, Santa Cruz Hall. Fall of 72. Second or third week, classes had started and there was some shuffling of people and I got moved down the hall. The dorm manager took me there, gave me my new key and introduced me to my new roommate, who I immediately got a weird vibe from, as he wouldn't say anything or look me in the eye. I put down my suitcases and left for a class. When I opened the door just a few hours later, my way was blocked by a butcher paper wall with 2 paper doors in it. The doors were hinged with tape, and only the left one was open. I could see my things through it, so I entered, and from there I could see that he had constructed a central wall of butcher paper, dividing the room floor to ceiling, giving us each half the window. The metal bunk bed had been moved to the center of the room and embedded in the paper wall, such that I could only get to the bottom bunk. He had the top. It was quite skillfully done. We each had complete privacy. There were no gaps anywhere, even on the floor. Though I admired his work, I didn't want half a room, or a crazy roommate, so I got the manager, who gave me another room. Even though my new room was just 2 doors away, I never saw the crazy guy again. My friend's roommate hides their salt. Just the salt. Every time he asks where the salt is, his roommate goes in his room and brings it out. What? Roommate was fresh off the boat from Korea. During the first few weeks of classes he met a Korean girl that lived on our floor. They bought a TV, placed the TV on top of the box it came in, setting it about 2 feet from where I slept, and would lay together in bed watching Korean soap operas every night until 3 maybe 4 in the morning at full volume. Should have just bought a fan and left it running. One of our roommates opened the phone bill to see a $4,700 bill. Other roommate was pocketing our money and not paying the bill. When confronted he said it was our fault because we were being hostile with him when we confronted him. My roommate was really famous for vines back when that was a new thing. You could tell that he was crazy, but he just kept setting the bar higher. He would take dumps completely naked with the stall door open. He would sit naked at his desk and occasionally adjust his balls. He would constantly do ridiculous things and record it for his vines. He would get up in your face and scream random crap. You could hear him constantly making random honking noises and yelling things like penis or cooch, but he definitely didn't afterwards. I would have to tell him to stop making ridiculous noises about 5 times before I could get to sleep. My roommate in college used my toothbrush to clean the toilet and then put it back. He didn't tell me. I went to use it later that night and there were brown pieces of crap and toilet scum on it. When I asked what was up, he readily admitted to it and acted as if he did nothing wrong. He was also the guy that took food from any food shelf donation bin he could find because he was a poor college student. This guy literally steals from the poor. Frick that guy, what an absolute poophead. Roommate started selling co out of the dorm room. Halfway through the first semester my laptop went missing. Ironically found it on eBay within 10 minutes with him as a seller. Called the cops when I got him get kicked out. Fun stuff. I mean, the fuck are you doing, dude? If you are doing illegal things and your roommate hasn't called the cops on you, why the fricking heck would you mess with their stuff? You are just asking to get fricking ruined by the roommate. Alright, so let me tell you. I went to college deep in the south and lived in a really awful trashy area. Our driveway came with a padlocked gate that was closed every night, so the whole property was fenced off. The famed idiot roommate was a party girl, a pro at not knowing her limits and befriending random townies at shady local parties while hammered. A laundry list of offenses included leaving our gate unlocked, the house keys out in the open, and a sticky note with our alarm reset code outside our house in order to avoid getting out of bed when her hookup of the day decided to waltz over at 2 AM. Giving her keys to random drunken townies to go use our house to sleep eat while she partied on and met them later, all of whom scared the living crap out of all of us by showing up in the house without any warning. Being a drunken disaster every weekend, her friends also didn't give a crap and would just leave her outside the house for us to take care of, hosting parties outside in the yard, which led to the creation of the garbage pile. A pile of refuse in the corner of our porch almost as tall as your average person that was created because she and everyone she knew was too lazy to walk 10 feet into the driveway and use the actual garbage can. The garbage pile stayed there all year. We literally had to go plead with the landlord to help us remove it after she was evicted because it got so bad, leaving takeout to rot on the counter's shelves in the kitchen for weeks. Being texted passive-aggressively from the next room that she was angry I touched her stuff she could take care of herself whenever I tried to clean said decaying garbage so that I could use the counter. Having loud sex in the shower and not cleaning up after herself, even after being told many times that the rest of us weren't down for that. She also stuck maxi pads to the wall on the bathroom on occasion. No explanation was ever given as I was told to frick off when I asked why. My last conversation with her when we had to break the news she was being evicted consisted of her locking herself in her room and yelling threats about how she wasn't afraid of me and was going to come out and beat me up while I sat in the next room calmly asking her if she was going to clean the garbage pile before she left. Had a roommate who literally never left the dorm room because he played World of Warcraft around the clock. He was so addicted that he had set up a fridge next to his desk and kept it stocked so he only had to leave his desk as few times as possible. But here is the worst part. To cut down on restroom trips, he would urinate into a container at his desk and empty it only when it became full. It was disgusting. Freaking P-Jugs Randy. My roommate in the dorms wore a puppet on her shoulder, and if you asked her a question she would answer with a puppet. It was a puppet of a griffin, which is a mythological creature that's a combination of lion and eagle. It sucked. We also had all the same classes together and I woke up late more than once to that dang puppet in my face telling me the time. I'd just start addressing her as the griffin, like eye contact only with the griffin while talking to her, only call her the griffin's name, if applicable, just griffin elsewise, that sort of thing. Met her briefly on move-in day, came back later to her puking in the trash can, floor, and in her bed. The room smelled really bad so I went to sleep in the lobby. Random guy saw me and offered me the unoccupied bed in his room. When he woke up he didn't remember any of this. Good times. Moved into what had been a single up until spring semester. Roommate, never actually met him, had cleared one entire side of the room and painted a gruesome and bloody crucifixion larger than life on the wall. Apparently that was to be my side of the room. I noped my stuff back out and never returned again. And that's how you keep a single room. One of the buttholes in my dorm was a massive thief. He would go out at night, open any cars that were unlocked, loot anything of value, change, GPSs, etc., and bringing them back to his room. He'd remove any serial numbers, wait a few days, then take them in a bin down to the pawn shop. I gave him a ride one time, not knowing at that time the full situation, and went in to browse while he sold some old crap he found while he was back home, and this guy was selling this stuff literally constantly. The guys there knew him by name and would crack jokes like, "Oh, did your mom buy you guys another new GPS?" He didn't have to wink. I knew he knew it was bulls. Anyway, he had been good about leaving my crap alone. I didn't report him out of laziness or misguided fear of consequences or something. But one day he must have been light on his takes, so he thought I wouldn't notice my iPod missing. This was back when iPod video was a huge deal, and I had the biggest hard drive size available. I was all about my music. I immediately went to the campus police, Myra, and then the local PD. They found my iPod. It had been reset and the serial number ground off, but they knew it was mine once they booted it up and saw the serial. No idea what the consequences were for him. I switched dorms and never saw him again. Lived with an info stripper. This sounds like every freshman's dream. My buddy John, who eventually became my roommate, had a different roommate freshman year. We will call him Rob, because that was his name. One day, John and I are playing some Tiger Woods golf and Rob says that he's going for a walk. Rob leaves and we don't think much about it until like 3 days later when we realize we haven't seen Rob since he left. It wasn't too weird, he didn't run in the same social circles as us and John didn't sleep in the room often. But we told the RA anyway in case something happened, not him. A few more days go by, still no Rob. We checked in with the RA, and he just assured us that it was being looked into. So we just kinda forget about it. 2 months go by, and no Rob. All his crap is still in the room. All his clothes, his laptop, his cases of Easy Mac, just sitting there like some weird untouched holy shrine. Then it happened. John and I are sitting there, playing Tiger Woods golf. We did that a lot, and Rob walks in. We of course are surprised and are like, "Rob, where the frick have you been?" He looks at us and says, "Oh, I joined the Navy." He grabs his laptop and walks out of the room and our lives without another word. We never saw or heard from him again, but eventually ate his Easy Mac. I like to think that he's still out there somewhere, sailing the 7 seas and thinking fondly about me, John, and Tiger. This cat is shocked that you haven't liked this video yet. Like it fast so they can calm down. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.